Good morning and welcome back to the drawing channel. We're going to get some drawings done today. Again, I'm not too sure what we're going to be drawing, but my name's Kieran Stevens. This is the Inky World. So let's have some fun this morning. Let's just go get your pens and your paints and whatever you want to do, and let's just do something. Let's get into something. Excuse the carrot. I just feel like a nice energy this morning. The temperature's cooled down, and I just feel like something magical is gonna burst through. So, get your pens. Let's do some drawing, okay? This way, or is it that way? Well, hello and welcome back. Welcome back to some ink. Some lovely ink drawings, hopefully. He says hopefully. Choosing a nice nib, that'll do. And we're just going to start off getting some confidence in. And the best way to start your confidence is, as always, to put a mark on the paper. And just start. Just doesn't really, like, it could be like the base of an eye, a nice wrinkly eye. And we could do him as a, let's get a bit of an angry feeling going on here this morning. No particular reason, but just enough to oh, excuse my carrot. And it could be anything. It's just an eye. And from that eye, it'll make us feel like we've done something. You know, it's like a small step. And I always think that you're doing these great big drawings. The best way to do them is piece by piece. And I love the idea of just finding them as you go, not really building up too much, kind of worry and stress, but just draw a pair of eyes, no big deal. And then we don't think about anything else, we just think about those two eyes. And for a nice kind of sketchy morning, it's such a beautiful way to start. I love just to sit and doodle around, you know. What would those two eyes be? Those eyes belong to. And then as you're sitting there, your mind kind of thinks it's got like some kind of nose. Okay, what kind of nose? Okay, let's give it a bigger. See, it almost looks like a short-nosed dragon or something now, doesn't it? And then from that, it kind of gets you into feeling what the next stage is. And it almost kind of makes you start thinking about a dragon. Even though the 10 minutes before, 3 minutes before, 1 minute before, we had no thoughts of it being a dragon. And now we've done the eyes and we've done the nose, and we're starting to think maybe it could be. Maybe it could be some form of a dragon. Do dragons have horns? Why not? Why not indeed, says I. It's a nice big... Well, that wasn't such a nice nut. Pen, if it's just broken in half. Oh, I didn't think I was even that hard on it, was I? Honest, governor, it wasn't me. So... oh, we've got some horns going on there. Very interesting. And as usual, you kind of get to the point of thinking, well, why is it a dragon? What has made me think of drawing a dragon? I don't think I've drawn dragons before, have I? And why not? Why not draw a dragon? Just get some more kind of hair feeling there in between. So we've got a type of dragon styled head. And I have no idea what's going to happen here with the body. No idea at all. Let's give him a nice kind of dragon styled lip. And I have no idea if they have forked tongues, but this one does. My dragon has. My dragon has a forked tongue. It's kind of cute. Alright, let's get a brush. Let's get in there. I kind of feel like something should... Wow. What are you doing now? Okay. No idea what is going on now, but let's try and join all that up. Let's add a bit of thickness up to that. Keeping the consistency a little bit. Okay, so I'm going to try to and what these exercises really come down to is just stretching your brain a little bit, you know, getting them out, getting them thinking, and getting them thinking on the spot also a little bit of, you know, not to say that I've drawn many dragons, but it gets you into a way of kind of accepting your drawings, you know, a way into kind of like getting that creative muscle to keep moving, getting it out and getting it excited on what you're doing. And I think that sometimes that's a very beautiful thing. And a lot of times, I've said this before, sometimes I'll kind of, I'll be walking into the kitchen and I'll just catch a glimpse of one of my drawings sit on my side and say, oh, that's nice. The one that I didn't like yesterday. The one that I kind of threw angrily in a heap yesterday. That's really quite nice. I like that. And it does kind of show you that in the heat of the moment, you can't really judge your work. And it's one of the tips I would say to you is like, if you've done a drawing, if you've done a painting or whatever, and you hate it, it's ugly, and you wouldn't give it to your enemy, put it on the side, forget about it, and then look at it in a couple of days' time. You will have forgotten all about it by then, and then you'll start to look at things from a different point of view, from a different angle. You start to look at it and think, well, why didn't I like that? That's got such a nice texture here, or that element there. Oh yeah, if I put a little bit, that could have been, And I think it's a beautiful way to kind of build your own kind of personal knowledge of your moods. And sometimes I come back to these drawings and are the ones that I really was so proud of, and I hate them the next day. It's like, and some of them the opposite. Some of them I think, that maybe if I put a little bit of paint on it will save it because it's such a bad drawing. And I put a little bit of paint on it, or put a little bit of color on it. And color doesn't have to be paint. It can be lots of different elements of it. Brushes, you can use pens, you can use inks, you can use paint, you can use pastels, watercolors. Watercolors seem to work quite well with my ink style. I don't know about anybody else's. Oh, giving him a nice big jaggedy back. That's quite interesting. Let's draw the other hand there so we can see that he's kind of reaching out. That's why I use this element of the day as my kind of sketch. This is me sketching in ink. In many meanings of the word, this sometimes just is a point for me to kind of unload my mind. Whatever, this brain's thinking about what I had for breakfast, and this one's thinking about, oh my God, you started to draw a dragon. You've never drawn a dragon before. What are we going to do, man? And that's a beautiful way to kind of kickstart your feelings, kickstart your mood for the day. And I find in a lot of cases, what it does is it does get me very, 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 very excited. Gets me very excited on what is going to happen, what is going to be on this drawing. Am I going to put scales on this dragon? Could be. Am I going to have him nice and smooth and silky looking? Just drawing all his belly colour in here. And now I've done some kind of tail, so he's almost like a snake-like dragon. It's really quite nice. See, the thing is also that what this does is it builds up your own kind of experience. It builds up something that you're sketching, and you're sketching things that maybe you've never even thought about. Never thought about drawing a dragon. Never sat down and thought, oh, I really want to draw a dragon. So it gives you that little extra piece of confidence back into your soul. You know, it gives you that little bit of confidence to think, well, you know, Jimmy wants me to draw a dragon for him, and he's going to pay me really well. So, yeah, I'm sure I've drawn a dragon before. Yeah, why not? Yeah, let's do it, man. Let's get that cash rolling. Oh, and talking of cash, don't you dare forget about my lovely book. Where is my lovely book? My lovely book, Worry Lips, The Ghostabulous Experience. There you go, I've done my advert today on Amazon. Go and get it. Look at that big, thick, chunky book there. Beautiful. And there's Norman and all the ghosts and death and all the demons. Everything's in this book. Everything you could ever want. And more. About 300 pages with illustrations. Go and get one. Go on. Treat yourself. Treat me. It's a great way to support artists. I've got quite a few books now there. So go and treat yourself. Go and buy something nice. It's been about close to a year in the progress. Far too long. It was kind of one of those type of books where you're working on it and everything's really exciting, and then in your personal life something dramatic and dreadful happens and you're pulled away, and then you've got to come back to it. And it was just one of those years, you know. A lot of people have said that this year, you know. This year has just been absolutely horrific. But the book got finished. And the illustrations, a lot of people have said, why is the illustration style different to your inky black and white type of thing? Well, this was more of a grey feeling. The story was about this man who died from a broken heart, actually. And when he wakes up, he's in this grey world. The grey world is obviously all the misery and all the dreadful things that's happening at the time. And he dies, and when he comes back, he seems to think that he's brought a ghost from the dead side into the world. And that's where the story begins, and that's where this whole magical story begins. And I really worked on it, and at the beginning I drew it in lots of my ink style. A lot of the early drawings were very inky and heavy, and I didn't want it to be dark and dramatic like this. I wanted it to be very soft, and that's where this kind of grey, I painted up a couple, and then I just kept looking back at this very different style than I usually do, and it was grey, and it just seemed like the grey was suggesting that it was night. It was the darkness that he was afraid of. But all of a sudden, the darkness, the black, had become grey, and it didn't seem so dark, it didn't seem so fearful anymore. It became almost a beautiful place. So, if you would like to support me, support my channel, support artists, go and buy yourself a book. Alright, that's my sales pitch. I'm sure I'll mention it again in another video. But it's just out. It's only out yesterday, I think. So still very new and exciting. A very difficult book to finish because, as I said, with life taking its spin on everything, life was a very hard thing this year for many people. I'm going to give him like a little kind of little knobbly knees. I want him to give him some little feet. And it's a very personal story too. It's a very important story for me. To get that in there, in behind, so we've got another leg. That's quite nice. And I like the way it sits on that big splash there. I'm working on a few books at the same time. I always do. I've always got a couple in the progress. It's just part of my habit when I'm on a book and things are getting very, very difficult and stressful and what's happening, what's this, what's that, I don't know about this, I don't know about that, what am I going to do, what am I going to do, panic, 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 panic. What happens is that I think, well, what about that story about the snail? Oh yeah. And I trying to distract myself. Get those busy brains, busy brain number one is starting to go, well, panic, 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 panic. And the other one's going, yeah, but look at that new story over there, the others. He just pulls you away. It gets you into this thing of like, all of a sudden you start thinking about, wow, what's going to happen with this snail in this story? The snail's getting into a fight with a tiger. What? A tiger? That's a great idea, right? Yeah. And it pulls you away. And it gets your mind worrying and being busy about something else. And then, obviously, at a later stage, you start having, well, I'm not sure if it should be a snail fighting a tiger. Why not a big snaky dragon? Oh, that's a good idea, yeah. And then you start worrying, maybe not. And you go back to your original idea. And all of a sudden you come in with like a new brain of all great thoughts. And, you're excited to be back to that story that you were struggling on earlier on. And that's beautiful because then you come back and you think, oh, I'm so glad I'm back on this story because this story is so easy to write, Oh, I don't want to write that story about the tiger and the snail. That's too difficult. And it starts to, you start to play games a little bit with your brains kind of fighting back and forward a little bit, Yeah. That's kind of different, isn't it? Now I don't know why, but I kind of feel like he should have like almost like a mermaid's tail. It's like I think that kind of gives it a nice kind of. I imagine that kind of mermaid's tail type of thing floating and flying in the sky might be quite a beautiful thing to see. Like a big kind of fin almost. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Let's drop off a couple of little clouds in there. So he's flying in the air with this big snake-like body. Beautiful. So we have a dragon. A flying dragon. Just finish off those scales then there. And it's quite an interesting thing, From nothing, from a couple of eyes And then from the eyes, we start thinking, well, it could be something angry. And start doing nose, and the nose is like, what kind of nose is that? Dragon, dragon, dragon. And all of a sudden, you've drawn a head for a dragon. And then as it goes on, you've done a whole body of a dragon. And that, I think, is quite beautiful. What do you think? That's the most important thing. What do you think? What do you think? That is what's important. What do my happy followers? And if you're not a follower, why not? Come and join me every day. Sometimes twice a day if I'm mad enough. Why not? Come and hit that subscribe button down there. It's great for me to see all these people joining the scribble every day. You know, you can get your sketch pad out, your notepad, your doodle pad, your rough piece of paper, and just draw something along with me. Whatever. You don't have to draw what I'm drawing. You can just sit and draw your neighbor's cat or whatever you want, your grandmother. And I'll sit and draw what I draw. And it just kind of gives you somebody to sit and draw with. And that's me at the base there. That's Kieran Siemens at the base. Not Kieran Siemens on the base. Boom, 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 boom. Right, where's my lucky brush gone? There you are, you beautiful beast. I love doing this bit. I absolutely love this. I know I'm using up a hell of a lot of ink doing it, but just seems to frame it. I always think it's like in some kind of gallery. You know, maybe one day I'll do these in a gallery. I'll get them all kind of framed up. Big gold frames somewhere. The portrait gallery. This is the portrait of a dragon. Lovely. I'm very pleased with that. But what do you think, my darling people? What do you think about today's dragon? Not bad. Not bad. Not bad. Be nice to do some golden colour for him or something like that. It'd be really beautiful, wouldn't it? Some golden oranges or something. So, thank you very much for being here. Thank you very much for sharing your time with me. And please subscribe, please follow the channel. And if you are tempted, go and buy a book. Da-da-da-da! Just in case you forgot. There's another one there. There's another orange one. As you're looking through Amazon, you'll see that one. And you'll see another orange one. And basically this orange one is lots of drawings about his thoughts. And this is his story. So they kind of look like really nice together, don't they? Anyway, have a fantastic day. Keep drawing, keep painting, keep being creative. And I'll see you again tomorrow. Bye-bye.